Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at two very similar switches that were sent over to me by Akko themselves, and that is the Akko CS Crystal switch and the Akko CS Crystal Blue switch. The pricing of this switch goes for $14.99 on Akko's website. You get 45 switches, and on Amazon they go for $18.99. Because Amazon has faster shipping, in Akko shipping you still have to pay for, and it is around 2 weeks, and Amazon is around like 3 days. Now these are both linear switches and they're both fully polycarbonate switches as well. There is only one major difference, and that is what we'll be talking about later on in the video. But first, let's talk about the Akko CS Crystal switches. Now these are a linear switch with an end force of 43 grams and a total travel distance of 4 millimeters. It also has a pre-travel distance of 1.6 millimeters. Now, the spring on this switch is an 18 millimeter spring. The shorter the spring, the shorter it goes down, but the longer it takes to come back up. So it won't be as snappy as something with a longer spring. So that is something to keep in mind. Because of this 18 millimeter spring, it does take a little bit longer to come back up than what I prefer or what I like. So if you are someone that likes snappier switches, this might not be the one for you. But this is full polycarbonate, it is clear, so definitely for those RGB lovers out there. Now I will say the biggest complaint I have about the Akko CS Crystal and Akko CS Crystal Blue switches are the fact that they are very hard to take apart. Even with my switch opener, I had to pry them open with my hands, and the spring and stem went flying everywhere. So honestly, I don't really recommend doing the hassle, just keep them stock. To be honest with you, their stock performance is pretty decent. There is some switch ping that is noticeable and a little bit of scratch, but neither of these are super noticeable to the point where they're not usable stock. Here is a quick sound test of the Akko CS Crystal switch. So yeah, like I said, if you're not really paying attention, you can't really hear the ping at all. And the scratchiness is only audible when I use one switch at a time. But when you're doing long typing sessions, it's more of just something that you can maybe hear, but you don't really feel. So in my opinion, it's not that bad of a deal, considering the feel of the switch matters more in my opinion than the sound. For the sound, I do believe that they lean towards the clackier side. Now, with that out of the way, let's go into the Akko CS Crystal Blue switch. This switch is a linear switch as well, has an end force of 40 grams, a total travel distance of 4 millimeters, and a pre-travel distance of 1.6 millimeters. Now, the biggest difference between the Akko Crystal Blue switch and the Akko Crystal switch is the fact that the Akko CS Crystal Blue switch has a 22 millimeter extension spring, which means it'll take longer to go down, but it'll feel even snappier than the Akko CS Crystal when it comes back up. And this is something that I personally prefer a lot more. When it comes to the stock performance and the snappiness and the feel of the switch, I do prefer the Akko CS Crystal Blue, because like I said, because it does have the longer spring, it makes the switch feel snappier. The one thing I was worried about though is the fact that it is blue, is a blue polycarbonate. So I was wondering if that would affect the RGB performance, but I'm here to report that that is not the case at all. You won't have any color shifts when it comes to this switch, even though the fact that it is blue, which was quite surprising, and I think Akko did a really good job with that. Now, like I said, for the Akko Crystal switch, this one is also very hard to take apart, so I kind of just left it stock. Now because these switches are basically made out of the same materials, they do sound almost exactly the same, but just for the fun of it, I'll be leaving a sound test here of the Aqua CS Crystal Blue. Like I said, there isn't much difference when it comes to the sound profile, but there is a difference when it comes to how they feel. The Aqua CS Crystal Blue is a snappier switch, but it does take a little bit longer to go down. The Aqua CS Crystal switch takes a shorter time to go down, but a longer time to come back up. So it honestly is just a personal preference and whether or not you want to go for the snappier switch or you like for the initial press to be faster than the upstroke. So a little bit confusing, but hopefully I explained it in a way that you guys could understand. But let me know which one you guys prefer in the comments down below, the Aqua CS Crystal Blue switch or the Aqua CS Crystal switch. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.